Today's lesson is called Léa Seydoux, More Than Just a Bond Girl. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And my name is Helen.
Okay, today we'll be talking about a French actor. Now, if you did want to gender that word, you could say French actress, but it is the 21st century, so we don't need to do that anymore. She is an actor, and what an actor she is. She's more than just a Bond girl, that's for sure, even though she will be appearing in a Bond movie, a James Bond movie. Yeah, I believe she is a Bond girl. But that name, I could say it all day long. It just rolls off the tongue. Léa Seydoux. I love the French language. It is definitely the language of love. That being said, Léa Seydoux is definitely way out of my league.
And talking about Léa Seydoux as an actress, she is an incredibly talented actress because she's able to play a wide range of roles. She can do action films, she can do romances, and she is beautiful. She is absolutely gorgeous to look at as well. So she is talented, she is beautiful, and she has just started her career being quite young. So we can expect a lot more from her.
Anyways, let's go ahead and take a short break. And when we come back, we'll start to discuss the first paragraph of today's article on Léa Seydoux.
Léa Seydoux, more than just a Bond girl. French actor Léa Seydoux is probably best known for her role as Bond girl Madeleine Swann. However, she'd already racked up an impressive list of achievements before that.
And welcome back to today's lesson, which is on Léa Seydoux, more than just a Bond girl. So we're talking about the French actress Léa Seydoux. And it says here, French actor Léa Seydoux is probably best known for her role as Bond girl Madeleine Swann. However, she'd already racked up an impressive list of achievements before that. So most people who know this actress probably know her from having seen her as a Bond girl in the latest Bond movie. But the fact is that she has already been in many different movies before that, because it says here she has already racked up an impressive list of achievements.
Sounds a whole lot like that of Rami Malek's. Okay, before Rami Malek ended up in a James Bond movie and really hit the A-list, he was also racking up awards and really building up a strong reputation as being a talented actor. Then, though, he became a Bond villain, and he became very well known the world over. So, well before Léa Seydoux became known all over the world because she was a Bond girl, she was already racking up an impressive list of achievements. By the way, when you rack something up, it means that things like awards begin to accumulate for you.
Right. When you rack something up, you get a large number of something, and that something is usually positive. So I could say something like, this tennis player has already racked up 10 wins this season. And that means this tennis player has already accumulated or gathered or won 10 games, 10 matches this season.
There you go. All right, folks. That's it for the first paragraph of today's lesson. Let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we'll read some more about Léa Seydoux, more than just a Bond girl.
Seydoux was born in 1985 into a large, well-to-do family in Paris. Her grandfather and great-uncle run two of the largest film companies in France. While people are quick to assume that this is the reason for Seydoux's success, she insists that her family has never helped her. Her interest in acting also wasn't inspired by her family's connections. In fact, as a child, Seydu wanted to become an opera singer. She even studied at the Conservatoire de Paris, eventually giving up because of her shyness.
大家好，第二部分我们看到形容词 well-to-do， 意思是富裕的。例如 Sarah was from a well-to-do family in the suburbs of Chicago. Sarah 来自芝加哥郊区，家境富裕。另外，补充2个同义形容词。第一 well off， W-E-L-L-O-F-F， well off， 像是 The man has been quite well off ever since gold was discovered on his property. 自从那个男人在他的地产上发现黄金后，就变得蛮富裕的。第二 affluent， A-F-F-L-U-E-N-T， affluent。举例来说 Ben lives in one of the city's most affluent communities. Ben 住在该市其中一个最富裕的社区。接着我们看到单字 assume， 这个字是动词，指以为、认为、假定。例如 I assumed that you wouldn't be able to come, so I'm happy that you're here. 我以为你没办法来，所以我很高兴你在这里。或是 It's best not to assume anything until you hear Judy's side of the story. 在你听到 Judy 那边的说法之前，最好不要做任何假设。另外，除了上面的意思，这个字还可以指采取、采用。我们可以说 The criminal assumed a false identity when he went on the run from the law. 那名罪犯用假身份逃亡，躲避法律制裁。再来，我们看到副词 eventually， 指最终、终于，像是 All of your hard work will be worth it eventually. 你所有的努力到最后都会是值得的。
So today we're talking about Léa Seydoux, and let's look a bit at her past, where she came from, and how she became an actress. It says that she was born in 1985 into a large, well-to-do family in Paris. So she was born in Paris, and she is 35 years old because she was born in 1985, and she was born into a well-to-do family, which means that her family was not super rich, but they had a bit of money. They were comfortable, and that was the environment that she was born into.
Anyways, moving on, we learn that her grandfather and great-uncle run 2 of the largest film companies in France. So, there you go. That's how you become well-to-do. Run 2 of the largest film companies in a country that's nuts about cinema. Yes, France loves movies. Now, while people are quick to assume that this is the reason for Seydoux's success, she insists that her family has never helped her. So, she had every opportunity to use her connections, but she said, no, I am going to do this by myself, and I admire this. Now, other people might think, oh my goodness, of course you're on top of show business. Your grandfather and your great-uncle run 2 of the largest film companies in France. Of course you're a star. All you had to do is call your grandfather or your great-uncle, and they'll do anything for you to make you a star. Of course you are. That's what people assume, but that's not the case. She insists that her family has never helped her. She did this all by herself. And you know what? I believe her. Anyways, here, let's talk about the verb assume, okay? Sometimes people jump to a conclusion even though all the facts are not in. So let's say you believe something is true, but you don't really have all the facts. You are jumping to an assumption, or you are making an assumption, I should say, okay? So don't assume, okay? Make sure you know all the facts before you come to a decision or before you make a conclusion.
That's right. And people are often too quick to jump to conclusions. They are quick to assume things. So another example would be if people assumed that models or pretty women have easier lives because they can get things easier and they can have more doors open to them. But if you ask a model, they'll tell you, don't be too quick to assume that's the case because it's actually very hard work and it's a lot of sacrifices. So that's what happens when you're quick to assume things. Often you make mistakes. So in this case, Seydu had to do her own work to become famous, to become a great actress. She says that her family and her family's connections didn't have a lot to do with her own work. And the article goes on to say that her interest in acting also wasn't inspired by her family's connections. So she developed her interest in acting through other sources, other means. She wasn't inspired by her family's connections. And here, the verb inspire means to give someone the idea or the enthusiasm to do something. An example would be, the artist inspired me to create my own paintings. But Seydu says that she wasn't inspired by her family's connections. So what was she inspired by?
That's what we learn next. Let's get to the bottom of this, though. In fact, as a child, Seydu wanted to become an opera singer. She even studied at the Conservatoire de Paris, eventually giving up because of her shyness. So apparently she had the pipes, she could sing, she had the ability, but she had stage fright as well, I think. It says here that she had shyness. So in the end, after a while there at this Conservatoire, she gave up. She eventually gave up because of shyness.
Right. She eventually gave up, which suggests that she didn't want to give up right away. Maybe she tried a few times and she tried to get over her shyness. Opera, after all, is something you have to do live. You have to perform on stage. So if you make a mistake, then that will be visible to everybody. So when you perform live, it's probably easier to become shy, to have fear, to have stage fright, as opposed to acting in a movie where you can redo a scene if you make a mistake. So it's more relaxed in a way as a type of acting. So eventually, after a few tries, she decided that she was just too shy to continue as an opera singer, and she gave up.
And she gave up. But hey, she didn't give up on everything. She set her sights on acting. And we'll start talking about this right after a short break.
At 18 years old, Seydu set her sights on acting, but only after falling for a handsome actor. To impress him, she began taking classes at a French drama school. It turned out that she was a natural. With the benefit of hindsight, she explained that her shy personality made her good at observing people, an important skill for aspiring actors. Soon after, Seydu began acting in French cinema. In 2008, she turned heads with her performance in The Beautiful Person, earning a César Award nomination and a Cannes Film Festival Award for Most Promising Female Actor.
第三部分，我们看到单字 hindsight 这个字是名词，指后见之明，常以 with the benefit or wisdom of hindsight 表示事后看来……举例来说 with the benefit of hindsight, I probably should have packed later for the week-long hiking trip. 事后想想，我那为期1周的爬山行程，行李应该再轻便一点的。再来，我们看到形容词 aspiring， 意思是有抱负的。例如 Millie is an aspiring musician who often posts videos of herself covering hit songs on YouTube. Millie 是个充满抱负的音乐人，常常在 YouTube 上张贴自己翻唱畅销歌曲的影片。接着，我们看到单字 nomination， 这个字是名词，意思是提名。例如The teacher was excited because of her nomination as Teacher of the Year. 那名老师很兴奋，因为他被提名为年度教师。最后，我们看到形容词 promising， 指很有前途的，大有希望的。例如 With her new promotion, Jill's career seems promising. Jill 刚升迁，看起来前途光明。或是 The treatment is showing promising results. 这个疗法的结果显示前景可期。
So we're talking about Lea Seydoux and about how she used to want to be an opera singer and then she gave that up because of shyness and all of that. I was thinking she must have been in her 20s already when she was doing all of these things. But it says here, at 18 years old, Seydoux set her sights on acting. So she was doing opera before that, I guess when she was 15, 16, 17 years old. And that's already quite an achievement. At 18, Seydoux set her sights on acting, but only after falling for a handsome actor. So to set yourself on doing something means to intend to have something or to intend to do something, to plan to do something. So I could say something like, he has his eyes set on becoming president one day. So Seydoux set her sights on acting. She decided that that's what she wanted to do. Why is that? Not because her parents, her family were in the movie business, so she thought that it would be an easy road for her to follow. Not because people thought that that's what she should do. It was because she fell for a handsome actor. She had a crush on a handsome actor, and so perhaps she thought that was the best way to get close to him was to start acting in movies and plays herself.
Good enough for me. All right, moving on. To impress him, she began taking classes at a French drama school, and it turned out that she was a natural. So maybe her reasons for becoming an actor weren't exactly perfect, but it did turn out that she was a natural. She's a good actress. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, she explained that her shy personality made her good at observing people, an important skill for aspiring actors. So there you go. Now, here we have this word hindsight, with the benefit of hindsight. What is hindsight, Helen?
Well, hindsight is really the opportunity or the chance to understand something that happened in the past that you could not have understood or were not able to understand while it was happening. But once it has passed and you can begin to think about that thing that already happened, you can try to understand what's happened and evaluate it. And that is the benefit of hindsight, meaning if something has already happened, you can look back on it and try to learn from it, try to understand it.
Yeah, she's been able to learn from past experience, okay? So she learned that she was good at observing people because she was shy. Okay, those two things are connected. This is an important skill for aspiring actors. By the way, if you are an aspiring actor, you're a person who is not yet an actor, but who wants to become an actor, okay? That's kind of your aspiration or your goal or your dream. It's what you want to do. So soon after, Seydoux began acting in French cinema. By the way, when we use the word cinema, we're just using this word to refer to movies and film. This is a fancy way of talking about movies and film.
Right. So you can say French cinema, for instance, or Italian cinema, American cinema, to mean films made in that country or by directors of that country. And you can also go to the cinema, which means going to the movies. Let's go to the cinema tonight. There's a good movie on.
Okay, now in 2008, she turned heads with her performance in The Beautiful Person, earning a César Award nomination and a Cannes Film Festival Award for Most Promising Female Actor. How about that? By the way, if you are nominated for something, you are up for something like an award. It means you can win an award. You're eligible for that award, but you don't win that award, okay? Here, she got a nomination, which means she could have won the award, but she didn't win this particular award. And also, she turned heads, i.e., everybody noticed her. Further, it says that she was a promising female actor, or this is what the award was for being promising. If you are promising, it means you have a lot of potential. People think that you are going to turn into something great and special in the future. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to say bye-bye for now, and you guys need to hear from the Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分提到 Léa Seydoux 的祖父和叔公在法国经营其中2家最大的电影公司，不过他对演戏的兴趣并非受到家庭关系而启发。好，这边用到一个单字 inspire， 它具有启发激励的意思。那我们来学习它的字首字根。好 ，spire 这个字根它表示呼吸，那带有这个字根的 spirit在拉丁文里面它就是指灵魂啊、勇气、活力、气息等等。好，那么在 inspire 这个字当中，它的字首 in 表示向内往内， spire 的部分表示呼吸。好，那当我们在某人心里去注入活力、勇气，也许你就可以去联想到这个 inspire 它有鼓励呀、鼓舞、激励或是启发的意思。好，那另外在课文第3部分用到一个补充单字 aspiring， 它是形容有抱负的。那 aspiring 它是来自动词 aspire， 同学们有没有注意到 aspire 和 inspire 的字根一样？好，那我们就来拆解 aspire 的字首字根。好，那它的字首 a 是来自 ad， 表示朝向，那么 aspire 的部分表示呼吸，朝着什么什么呼吸，这是什么意思呢？同学们，也许你可以用画面来记这个字哦。当电影里面那个巨大的怪兽准备要吃掉主角的时候，镜头是不是通常会特写到那个野兽巨大的头，然后张着嘴露出尖牙利齿，慢慢朝着主角靠近，然后怪物就会发出那种很想吃掉主角呼吸声可能像这样，不太会学。好，那他可能就一边靠近，一边用这种很渴望的呼吸，一边滴着口水。用这样的画面，也许你可以联想到 aspire 它有渴望、向往的那种语义吧。好，课文第3部分提到说 Léa Seydoux 在他爱上一位这个英俊的演员之后，他就下定决心要从事演艺事业。好，文中用到 fall for somebody 来表达迷恋某人啊，对某人一见倾心。好，那么 fall for 它是源自于鱼看到鱼饵不自觉去咬的那种动作。那么引申的意思会有2种，第一种是指迷恋，那这时候受词是人， fall for somebody 表示爱上某人，那意思就会跟 fall in love with somebody 差不多。好，举例来说 Dexter fell for Emma the first time he met her。 Dexter 第一次遇见 Emma 就被她迷住了。好，那补充一个用语是 fall for somebody like a ton of bricks， 意思是深深的爱上某人。这个 like a ton of bricks 字面意思是像一吨的砖块，那引申的意思就是重重的，或是猛烈的，或是它有严厉的意思。好，那么第2个是 fall for 它可以表达被骗，那这时候受词是事物， fall for something 是用来表达被某事物所骗。举例来说 He's not dumb enough to fall for that old trick， 他才没有笨到会被那个老把戏耍，他才不会上当呢。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Assume. I assume the flight will arrive on time, so you can pick us up at midday. Inspire. Paul's first book was inspired by his trip to South America. Opera. German composer Richard Wagner is most famous for his operas. Eventually. The wives of the lost hikers were relieved when the men were eventually rescued. Cinema. After a number of roles in TV commercials, Bell got an opportunity to work in cinema. Promising. It's too early to celebrate, but the results of the experiment look very promising.
Well, this is the end of our program. We hope you had a great time with us today. Hope you can join us again. From all of us here, I'm Helen.
I'm Jeff. See you next time.